I am Araceli, a wealth advisor, real estate investor in the United States and Canada, and creator of Wealthy Women in Real Estate. Every week, I meet with Colette, a real estate broker and a real estate investor in Canada. We come together to talk about all things real estate investing and how to increase your wealth. Join us. Welcome, everyone. This is Araceli, wealth advisor and real estate investor in the US and Canada. And today in my weekly call with Colette, we have a very interesting subject, some of the terms that you need to know. Colette, can you introduce yourself?
Of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Colette Raba. I am a realtor and also a real estate broker in the GTA and also an investor. And that's why Araceli and I love to talk and give you guys great information, because we love to share and we want everybody to have this great knowledge to increase your personal wealth by buying real estate. So the terms that you have to know are very important, and we get these questions all the time. So we wanted to share with you just really quick, 3 quick ones, but they mean so much, and they're very important to know. So shall I share my screen with you?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's go with the first one.
Share my screen. Okay, so real estate and financial terms. That's what they are. And the first one is called buy and hold, if you don't know what that is. So being an investor, there are different ways to do it. So one of the ways is to buy a property and hold on to it, which means to put it up for rent, usually. Some people just buy it and don't rent it out and just wait for it to amortize over time. And they don't make any money as it's sitting there empty. Right?
Yeah, I just don't think that that's the right way to go unless you have billions of dollars. But I think that is better when you use in the property, because if you don't use it, you lose it, right?
Right. Well, the other thing too is, like you said, you either have billions of dollars or you have some kind of crystal ball to tell you, oh, okay, in a year or two, it's going to be double its value or whatever it is. So that nobody has a crystal ball unless you do. So please introduce yourself to me. I would like to meet you.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to meet that person too.
Yeah.
So one thing that I wanted to tell you about buy and hold, and this is, if you decide to do this, this is an active way to be an investor. So you're going to be actually purchasing the property. If you only have one property, you might be doing the property management of it, right? But if not, then you may have to hire somebody. So there is an active role that you're going to have here. From buying the property, if you're doing the property management, you're going to have to talk to the tenants that are going to be living there, and you're going to manage all the day-to-day things that happen. If there's any repairs that need to be done, if there's an issue with the tenants, if the tenants are moving out, you have to get new tenants, and so on. So I just wanted to make sure that you understand that that is going to be for the long term.
100%. And it has something to do with the second slide too. So buy and hold. So basically, here's your term. What it means is that it's when you buy a property or investment property and you hold on to it. And that's the intention, to hold on to it till it acquires a higher amount of money. And we don't know, when that's going to happen and how long it's going to happen. It could happen. It could amortize over the next day. It could happen over the next 10 years. So you have to really figure out, okay, when am I going to sell it? Or when do I get rid of it? Or how do I use it? So that's a whole other thing, but let's go on to number 2.
Yeah, but usually, remember that we talk about this, Colette, that long-term usually is between 7 to 10 years, but it might be shorter depending on where you are, right?
Right, and that's really up to you. So actually, you know what, can I mention that I'm having a little workshop coming up soon, and we talk about this because really, the way I like to buy and invest is to know when am I going to get out?
Yep.
So how am I going to exit before I even get in? So you always have to have that exit strategy to say, okay, if I buy, let's say, a property for $500,000, my exit is going to be when it actually is worth $1 million. So I'll know between this time and this time, this is my exit strategy. Or you can say in the next 10 years. So whatever your exit strategy, or maybe I want to retire and use that money. So whenever that's going to be, it's either about time or money, right? We always like that. We always like saying that term, time or money, time or money. So anyway, second term is called cash flow. So this has to do with the first thing, which is to calculate every way to make the property give you the return and get the highest and best use. That highest and best use is a term in itself. So we'll talk about that another time, but there's examples of long-term rental, short-term rental, fix and flip, or even the highest and best use could be to tear the house down and build a parking lot.
Yeah.
So you never know. So basically, this is just a little spreadsheet of how you have to calculate all these things to know what your net operating income is at the end of the day. This is pretty high-end stuff. So, we don't expect you to know all this. And that's why you not use us, but you talk to us and use our expertise to help you get through this and to understand something like this.
Absolutely. And remember that you have to work your numbers yourself, because there is a lot of people out there that they're going to try to give you, oh, this is a great deal, but they leave out a lot of things. So you need to understand what has to go in there. All of that, I talk about it in my course as well. That
you have a course too, great.
What are the things that you need to include to make sure that you're actually going to cash flow positive? And what that means is the difference between your gross rental income. That means that's the money that you collect from your tenants, minus your operating expenses, which is what it costs you to run the place.
And even on this little form, the little example that we give you, it says 0 for utilities. So the way I saw that is, no, it's not a mistake. It's because if there's a renter in there, they're paying for the utilities.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a 0.
Correct.
That's how you should do that.
But it depends on the type of property that you have, because if you have a multifamily unit like I do, I have to pay for the utilities. I pass it on to the rent, but I still have, it's my responsibility to pay for it. So it would be one of my operating expenses.
Right. And even, if you have a renter in the property, this 5% vacancy reserve is kind of not true. Like you would probably be vacant for at least a month. So let's say this is a monthly little spreadsheet. So I would actually put that as a $1,500 minus, but this is over the year. So this is just for a month. So the $75, I haven't calculated it, if that equals for the year, if you do $1,500 times 12 months, and then you have to times everything by 12.
Yeah.
So this is not the point. This is just an example. And, anyway, so that's something that
but it's important to understand cash flow, because if for whatever reason you are in a market that doesn't allow cash flow positive, that means that you're gonna have to put out of your pocket money either to pay for the remaining of the mortgage or the property taxes or any other expenses that is not covered by your rent.
That's right.
And that is a cash flow negative. You need to put money into it. I particularly don't like to invest in anything that does not cash flow. I'd rather cash flow $1 positive than having cash flow negative, because my idea is that how many of those can you
But this is the thing,
right?
We're getting into really high-end stuff now by having this conversation. So this is the thing, when you really look at being cash flow positive, you don't have to be cash flow positive, because the way real estate is going these days, you buy a property a year ago, or even, I'm honestly thinking real estate in the GTA is going to continue to climb by 20-30% because there's supply and demand, very low supply. So when it comes to something like that, you might say, fine, I don't need cash flow positive. I need them to just pay my bills. And let's say you put $30,000 into improving the property.
Yeah.
Who pays you back that? You get that when you sell the property. So we're not talking about this. This is just to show you what cash flow means and get you thinking about all the different ways that you can cash flow a property. Lots of ways. And every property is a little bit different, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, last term. Our last term is our favorite term, maybe.
Yeah.
Between you and
Fix and flip.
I know, but you know what? I don't like doing fix and flips because I don't see the value in it, and because there's so much volatility with this, because the way the market is right now. I personally would never do a fix and flip in the GTA.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I wouldn't do it in the States.
That's right. So that's what I was going to say, that you have to, there's many things that you need to really evaluate. First of all, is that the thing that you want to do? Because this is somebody that wants to be an active investor. Do you have any skills that allow you to do some work in the property, or that it allows you to find the property easier? You have the contacts, all of that. So you have to really do an evaluation of what you do. And then when you analyze the area that you're going to be doing it, does it make sense to do it there? As Colette said, in the GTA, which is the Toronto area, and other areas in the US, like maybe New York or California, might not make sense because of the amount of money that you need to invest. And if you're going to have a mortgage throughout the repairs, remember, there is no cash flow coming in during that time because you're doing the repairs, so you can't rent the property.
Right. Plus, you're paying out.
Exactly. Of course.
Mortgage. Right. So
you're paying out a lot. And if you, for some reason, you have a really large mortgage, and now you said that you were going to finish the repairs in 4 months, but now it takes you a year to do it. Think about all of those ongoing expenses, which might eat into your profit, and it might not work because of your current lifestyle. If you're not able to support that because there's no money coming in, then this might not work for you. So you have to do it somewhere else that is cheaper or that is less volatile. That is in here.
It's just like any other investment. You buy low and you sell high. So where can you do that? And it might not happen everywhere. And the market does change too. So I'm going to stop the share just so we can chat more. But just these three very important terms you have to know if you want to become an investor, and if you really want to understand what it means and how many different ways you can do it and what works for your lifestyle. I think that's ultimately, we always talk about money touches everything, but it's also time. And if you don't have time to physically do the work or to physically travel to the location, if you want to be hands-on, then you have to ask yourself those hard questions before you even explore any of these things. So maybe you want to be a silent investor. That's a whole other term. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And we can talk to you about that as well.
Yes, exactly. So that is basically the two things. So you have money and time. So if you don't have time, then you're going to have money to pay somebody to do it. Because if you don't pay somebody to do it, you want to do it, but you want to do it part-time, it's going to take you a whole lot of more time to get it done. And therefore, if you're still paying for a mortgage or expenses along the way, then the longer you go, the harder it is going to become. So you have to make a balance of what you want to do. So
because you say, I'm going to sell it and I need to sell it by the spring market, or I need to rent it, I need to get a renter in there. You gotta do your numbers. So numbers are very important. Araceli can help you with the numbers. I can help you with the numbers. If you just want more information, please message us directly. Ask us questions. You can leave a little note right under this video, whatever you want, because we love answering your questions. So that's ultimately, we're here for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's awesome. So remember the terms that we went over. So that was buy and hold, cash flow, either positive or negative, and fix and flip. So those are the three terms that we looked at today. And if you do have any questions, we're going to be doing more a series of terms so you know where to use it, what they mean, and so on. So
perfect.
Thank you, Colette, for putting the presentation together.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for being here on the show. Please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when there are more shows available. And if you would like to have more information on how to start investing in real estate, please visit my website at www.aracelihernandez.com. Thank you.